All are having graph paper with you, soft or hard. Answer from your side. All are having
Yes, ma'am.
graph paper.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Only
ma'am.
Akshat is giving the answer. What
Yes,
about
yes,
the
ma'am.
rest?
Yes, ma'am.
This is class after lunch break or you were having earlier class?
Class after lunch break.
So all had enough food. Only 30 turned up. Okay, shall we begin the class? It's 1-6.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you got the question of the problem that I have already solved, which I left it incomplete? Do you have the question with you? Statement?
Yes, ma'am. We have.
All of you, not only Akshat, Aditi, and one or two other people. What about the rest? Are you having the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Okay. So if in case if you people were not having the question, not written down the question I am repeating it again. Sketch the root locus of the unity feedback system for an open loop transfer function that is given by g of s is equal to k divided by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. Okay. Your first step, may I know what is your first step for drawing a root locus? Last class I have taught you know what is the first step. What is the first step for you?
Locate the open loop poles and zeros.
Yes, you are to locate the open loop poles and zeros. So given system is having OLTF like this. From this you have to determine what are the zeros and what are the poles. So tell me what are zeros and what are poles.
Zero zeros
Zeros and
and three poles.
Zeros are numerator polynomial roots. But
Okay,
if you
got it.
see to the numerator polynomial, there is only a constant gain factor, open loop gain. There are no zeros. So I have written here, there are no zeros. M represents the number of zeros. Notation for number of zeros is M. So M is equal to 0.
zero.
Next you need to find out what are the pole number.
Highest
So
power
what
of
are the various
denominator
poles that you are having? Highest
denom,
power of the
denominator
denominator,
poly,
what?
Denominator.
polynomial.
Denominator polynomial. So that is not pole, no, that is order,
That is
whatever you
order.
are saying. Yes. So what will be the poles? The roots that are found in the denominator polynomial, that is called as your poles. So there is a possibility that you are having a pole located at the origin here. Then two more poles will be resultant because of this quadratic polynomial. So you are going to find out the roots. So total number of poles for this case is n is equal to 3. Okay. N is equal to 3 is the total number of poles. Now, sorry. Now I have found out the roots of this quadratic polynomial that we have already did. So if you solve this quadratic polynomial, you will be getting 3 number of roots. One pole is located at the origin. The quadratic equation will be resulting in a complex conjugate root. So totally you are having n is equal to 3 number of poles. Okay, now you have to locate these poles and zeros in your graph sheet. And before that you need to know how many number of root locus branches will be there, how many will be terminating at a finite zero, and how many will be terminating at an infinite zero. So already I have told you this procedure. Those who missed the class, I am repeating it again for their sake. Okay. So first step is location of poles and zeros in your S-plane. Step number 1. So as per that step, the total number of root locus branches will be equivalent to the number of poles. So you know the number of poles for the system is how many in number?
3.
How many
3.
number of poles you are having? 3 number of
3.
poles. So totally you will be having how many number of root locus branches accordingly? 3 number of root locus branches. And always, suppose if you say this is a branch, it will be starting from the pole. Okay, this is the pole marking which is represented by cross. So the start point is always the cross marks, that is pole point. And it will be terminating at a 0. Okay, it will be terminating at a 0 point. This is your finite 0. This will be possible only if you are having zeros in the system. But for your system, are there any zeros? Are
No,
there any
ma'am.
zeros for your
No,
system?
ma'am.
No zeros, because
No, ma'am.
the numerator polynomial is having only open loop gain. So there is no possibility of factors that are present in the numerator. So you are not having zeros. So all the root locus branches, all the 3 number of root locus branches will be terminating at an infinite 0. It will go on continuously. We don't know where it is going to terminate. So this is how it will be terminating at an infinite 0. Alright. So if you want to learn out the number, how many root locus branches will be terminating at a finite 0, how many will be terminating at an infinite 0, you want to learn. That will be given by this one. So if you want to know how many number of branches are terminating at a finite 0, this problem, as you have told me, there are no zeros, so no branches are going to terminate at a finite 0. All will continuously go on and terminate at an infinite 0. So that number is given by n minus m. So you know what is n and you know what is m. So n represents number of poles, m represents number of zeros. Pole is given by 3 number. The number of zeros are 0. So the resultant is n minus m is equal to 3. So all the branches, 3 number of branches will be terminating all at an infinite 0. Okay. So this is your first step. Then you have to take a graph sheet and you have to locate the poles and zeros. For this problem, what are the zeros that you are having and what are the poles that you are having? What are the zeros and what are the poles that you are having for this problem?
Ma'am, no zeros and poles are 0.
No zeros
And 3 poles, ma'am. 3 poles.
Okay, 3 poles. Okay, so no zeros are there, only 3 number of poles are there. Okay, wait for a second, I am running some software, I will reset the model. Okay. Alright, so 3 number of poles are there. Will you tell me the pole representation? One is located at origin, so I have represented it by one cross mark. Then what are the remaining 2 roots that you are having? 2 number of poles.
Minus
The remaining
2 plus
poles are
3i.
minus 2 plus or minus j3. So you mark a scale. Here you put 1, 2, 3, like that you take a scale. This is your positive real, this is your negative real, this is your positive imaginary, here you are having a negative imaginary. So everywhere you have to take scale. And here you are having j3 point, here minus j3, and here you are having minus 2. So just take the scale accordingly and locate the poles, the other 2 poles. This is your minus 2 plus j3 point, and here minus 2 minus j3 point. Okay, both are complex. Let us take this as A and let us take this as A conjugate. Alright, so this is your first step. You have to locate the open loop poles and zeros. For this system you are having 3 number of poles, so you have located one at origin and the remaining 2 poles are complex conjugate. They are located at minus 2 plus j3 and minus 2 minus j3. That is your first step. So you have to do the same thing in your graph sheet. You should not do like I am doing normally. That is allowable only if you are not able to get a graph sheet. But all these procedural steps should be followed in a graph sheet. Finally, I will tell you how to do that. But you remember the concept. First step is what? You need to locate the. You need to locate the what? You need to
Poles
locate
Poles
what?
and zeros.
Poles and zeros. Poles, how will you locate? The symbolic representation of pole is cross mark or small circle?
Cross.
Cross. So only poles are there in the system. One is located at origin, one is located at -2 plus J3, one is located at -2 plus minus J3. All the three things you have to locate. The next thing is you need to find the root locus on real axis. That is your next step. Step number 2 is this one. You need to find out any branch is located on the real axis. You know that there are totally how many branches that you are having in this system?
3.
3. So some branch
3.
may be located on the real axis, negative real axis. How to find that out? There is a procedure that you have to adopt for that. I will tell you how to do that. So this is your S-plane graph sheet where you have located these poles. Okay. Now you have to take a trial point here somewhere. Here I am taking one trial point. To this side I have to count down the total number of poles and zeros that I am having. So how many number of poles and zeros I am having to this side of the trial point? There is one pole located at origin. So that is 1, that is odd or even?
Odd.
Odd or even?
Odd.
Odd. So if this is the case, then you can confirm that there is a real root locus branch that is located on the real axis. Just to thicken the line like this, like I am doing. And you know by theory I have told you that the root locus branches will always start from what and it will end at what?
Start
to
from
zero.
pole and
Starting, this is a starting point. Always it will start from a pole. Okay. So the direction you mark it in this way. Okay. And it is going to terminate at an infinite zero or finite zero? It is going to terminate at an infinite zero because this problem does not have any zeros, so it will be terminating at an infinite zero. So the ending point is not available. So this is, you have to mark it as, root locus on real axis. Then you have to mark it like this. That is your next step. What now? Somebody was having doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that you told we take one sample test point on axis and then we'll mark it. So, ma'am, if I'll take, like, we have to take always the test point on negative real axis or anywhere in the x-axis.
Suppose if there are poles located in your other half also, then you have to take trial points everywhere. Depends upon the problem. Okay?
So, ma'am, if
Understood?
I'll take a trial
Suppose,
point here,
for
that's the
example, wait, I am having one, okay? This is having how many number of poles and how many number of zeros you are having in this problem?
2 pole 1 0.
There is 2 poles. So n is equal to 2. M is equal to zeros. You will mark it as small circle. So this is 0. So M is equal to 1. In this case, if you want to find out whether the root locus is present, again keep a trial point here. Note down to this side. So how many number of poles and zeros are there?
1.
1. Again this portion you have to thicken up. Okay, and mark the direction. Okay, this is branch number 1. This is terminating at a finite zero or infinite zero?
Finite.
Finite, because you are having 0 here. So this is terminating at a finite zero. Again you have to do what is, you are going to locate one more trial point here. Okay. Note down to this side how many number of poles and zeros you are having. So how many number of poles and zeros you are having? 2.
1.
Poles and 0. Poles and 0.
And zeros. Yes.
So number is 2. Okay, 2 number you are having now. So it is forming even. Okay. So this area will not form part of root locus. It will not be a root locus. Okay. Then you have to keep another trial point here. Here. Okay. I will put it in black. Here I will keep a trial point. Again I will count number of poles to this side. So totally how many number I am having? 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so that is odd or even again?
Odd.
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 So again I have to thicken this and mark the triangle. So this is also my root locus, like this. Now you understood, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
All of the rest of the class
Ma'am, one
understood
last
or
thing.
not?
Ma'am, that last root
What?
locus, ma'am, the black one, black color root locus,
Ah,
that we
ah.
should darken from 0 or from the point where we took test point?
From the pole, always I told you know all the root locus branches will have a starting point pole only. No zero
Okay.
start. Zero is our ending points only. Okay,
Okay.
starting points are always pole.
Okay, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And this is not forming part of root locus. No, the number is even, so you cannot consider that as root locus. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
What about the rest? You have to give me the answer. Please don't keep silent.
Ma'am,
I
what
don't
will be
like
the
it.
value of m and n if some poles or zeros are equal?
M and N poles and zeros are equal. Some cases I have not seen any such problem. Okay. In that case, total number of root locus branches will be 0. I think so. Sorry, number of pole. Sorry, not that one. Number of root locus branches will be equivalent to the number of poles. So 3 number of root locus branches you will have. So what question are you asking me?
Suppose, ma'am, if two poles are equal, then n is equals to 2 or 1.
2 poles are equal means you have to consider that as 2 only. Double pole, no.
Okay.
Understood? Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope you understood how to locate the root locus on real axis. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Real axis root location you understood. Okay. So this is your next step. So in case people, if you are not able to follow, you ask me. This is a big 16-mark question. Okay. So you will be given a graph sheet in which you have to do this procedural steps and you have to draw the entire graph. There are some quite 6 or 7 steps to follow. This is just the second step I am talking about. So in case if you are not able to follow, if you are having any silly doubt, you ask me. Now is the time. Okay. So the next step.
Right.
What shall I?
We'll always move towards right for checking the number of.
Yes, to this direction only. Alright?
And we'll
Okay.
mark the direction away from the pole.
Away from pole, because origin point is always pole. So from pole only you have to start. Direction away. Okay? Understood? Shall up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will move on to the next step. Next step is you need to find out two parameters. One is angle of asymptote you have to find. The next one is centroid. Both are having definite formulae for finding it out. So this is giving you angle of asymptote formula. So what is angle of asymptote formula? Plus or minus 180 2q plus 1 divided by n minus m. So you know what is n. N is representing your number of poles. That is equivalent to what for this problem? It is equivalent to 3. M is not there for this. So m will be equivalent to 0. Q is given by this formula. It can range from 0, 1, 2 up to n minus m. So n minus m is 3 minus 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 you can have for Q. But for your problem, how many root locus branches are there? How many root locus? 3 only. So already one of the branch you have located. That is present in the real axis. Yes or no? This branch I have told you, no? This branch that I have shaded up in the green color line, that is already found out. That is branch number 1. So remaining how many branches you are having?
2.
2. One will originate from here and one will originate from here. So 2 more poles only is necessary. So it is enough if you are finding only 2 angle of asymptotes. Okay. So you will be substituting Q is equal to 0 first case. If you are substituting Q as 0, then what is the angle that you are having? You will be getting plus or minus 60. So 2 angles you have already got. So you can stop with this step. You need not find angle of asymptotes for the second case where Q is equal to 1. That you need not do. Okay, suppose if you are having 5 root locus branches, then for Q is equal to 1 also you need to find out the angle of asymptote. But for this particular problem, it is total number of branches equal to 3. Already we have found out 1 branch. Now only 2 more angles are sufficient enough that we have found out here. Okay, the angles are what? What are the 2 angles of asymptotes that you are having?
6 plus minus 61.
Plus or minus 60. Okay. Next thing is you need to find out the centroid. Okay. Centroid. Centroid is given by this formula, sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by n minus m.
And minus
So,
4 by 3.
huh? Yeah. What are the poles that you're having for
4
this
by
problem? You tell me. For the rest who did not understand at last class, I am telling them again. 0 is the first pole, then minus 2 plus j3 is the second pole, minus 2 minus j is the third pole. Here the number is 0, this one is 3, this one is 0. So this will get cancelled. Then what will be the formula? Minus 4 divided by 3. Sigma A is equivalent to 1.33 negative. Okay, this is your centroid point. Okay, so now you know what is what. What, Pratyush?
Ma'am, yes ma'am, why do you not calculate for q is equal to 1 and 2? I mean,
Q is equal to 1
q
and
is
2
equal to
because
0.
you are having only 3 branches. Okay, so 3 angles or 2 angles is enough because one branch already you have found out, no?
Yes ma'am.
So 2 more branches only is there. So you need not go for advanced substitution of Q. You can stop with Q is equal to 0. That is giving 2 angles already, that is enough. Okay?
Yes.
Understood, Pratyush? Okay, now you have found out centroid angle of asymptote. Next you need to point it in graph. Okay? Alright. So you have located the 3 number of poles. In this you have to mark where is 1.33, that is your centroid. So I have marked here 1.33, that is my centroid. And that using compass I have to take 2 angles. One is plus 60, other one is minus 60. And I have to roughly draw 2 asymptotic straight lines. Okay? Roughly, not thickened line. Dotted line I have to do. Okay, because parallel to that only the root locus branches will travel. Okay, so you should not draw these red color lines thickened way. You have to mark it as dots only. Okay, so how will you mark angle of asymptote, sir? Okay, shall I teach you with the help of the graphs? All are doing this thing in the graph sheet. You take your graph sheet. First step, you know what is your first step? You need to locate the what?
Poles and zeros.
Poles and zeros.
Poles and zeros.
Poles and zeros. See, all are observing, I guess. You have to take a graph sheet like this. Okay. Then you have to mark the positive real axis, negative real axis, positive imaginary, negative imaginary. All these things you have to mark. Then you take scale as I have taken. I have taken scale 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, like that. I have to take scale for the 4 axes. Then I have to locate the poles. So you know there are 3 number of poles. One is located at this point, 0. Another one is here you are having minus 2, here you are having plus j3. So I have located minus 2 plus j3. Let this be 8. Okay. And exactly opposites. This is my minus j3. This is my minus j2 again. So I have located minus 2 minus j3, that is my A conjugates. Okay, so this is first step, location of poles on S-plane. Okay, second step, what is your second step that I have told you?
Ma'am, finding root locus on real axis.
Finding root locus on 0. So how will you proceed finding it? You have to fix a trial point here somewhere. You have to see to this side. So you have to see or count how many number of poles and zeros you are having. So how many number of poles and zeros you are having? As you can see from this graph, only one pole is located at the origin. That is odd or even again?
Odd.
Odd. So what do you need to do? You need to thicken up this entire real axis and mark the direction like this. Okay. And write here root locus on real axis. This is branch number 1. Okay, branch number 1. That is already done. Next thing is you have to find what is your third step. Third step, you need to
Angle of
find out the
asymptote.
angle of asymptotes and centroid. So you already found that out. What is your centroid point? Minus 4 by 3.
Minus
Now
one.
what is the answer for that?
Minus
So
one.
where will you have minus? Somewhere here you will be having minus 1.33. So I have marked that centroid. This is my centroid point. Okay, from that centroid I have to mark the angle of asymptote. So what are the angle of asymptotes that I am having?
Plus minus
Plus
60.
minus 60.
So using your compass, roughly you take 60 degree here, and in the opposite direction you have to mark minus 60. That you do it in your graph sheet. In that centroid point only you have to mark that angle. Shall I do it in black color? This is my centroid point. Just mark angle 60 degree, then draw an asymptote. Then mark one minus 60, then draw an asymptote line. This line should be drawn in dotted only. It is not root locus branch. Root locus branch should start from the pole, but they will travel parallel to this asymptote. That's why you are drawing this asymptotic line. Okay, understood?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
Yes,
is
ma'am.
this is step number 3, where you are using angle of asymptotes and centroid to draw the asymptotic straight lines. Okay. So what is your centroid and what is the formula for it?
Sum of poles minus sum of zeros by n
Sum
minus
of
m.
poles minus sum of zeros divided by n minus m. The answer is minus 1.33. So you locate that minus 1.33 in the graph, and at that point you have to mark the angle of asymptote. So two angles you have seen, 60 and minus 60. So take that 60 and minus 60 and draw one straight line in a dotted manner. That will be asymptotic to this only. Parallelly, the root locus branch 2 and 3 will travel. Okay. I am hoping all understood the step. Next thing is, there are two other poles that you are having. This is pole number 2, this is pole number 3. So two more branches will start over from this point. And if you are, this is complex nature or non-complex poles?
Complex.
Complex.
Complex. So whenever you are having complex poles, condition, you remember, I am having a complex pole means I will have an angle of arrival or departure. Starting point is pole or 0?
Poles.
Pole.
Poles.
Pole. So angle of departure or arrival?
Departure.
Departure. So whenever you are having complex poles, this problem is having complex pole or complex 0?
Complex poles.
So you will have angle of departure or angle of arrival?
Angle of departure.
Angle of
Angle of departure. Suppose if you are having complex 0, then this is your ending point. So you will be having angle of arrival or angle of departure in this case.
Arrival.
Angle of
Arrival.
arrival.
But your problem, does it have complex 0? No complex zeros are there. So this angle of arrival is not possible in this case. Only you are having complex zeros are there in the problem. So you are going to find out angle of departure. Okay? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Okay. Then how you have to find out that angle of departure? There is a standard formula for doing it. I will teach you. So only one more problem in root locus I will be able to solve. That way I will finish this portion. So in case if you are having any doubts, you ask me. Now is the time. Okay. So again I am showing one diagram. Again I have located poles. Okay. Now I need to find out the angle of departure, both at one A point and A conjugate. Okay. The formula is also given 180 minus theta 1 plus theta 2. So what is your theta 1 and what is your theta 2? I am finding angle of departure at this point. Okay. So what I need to do is, there are other two poles. One is located here, that is its conjugate, A conjugate, and the other one is located at origin. So I will draw a vector joining it. I will draw a vector like this. And what is theta 1? Two vectors I have to draw towards that pole at that I am considering, that is A. Okay. So the angle made by vector 1, that is my 0 point, that will be given as theta 1. So the angle made by its complex conjugate, A conjugate, that is given by theta 2. So you know what is theta 2? What is theta 2? A conjugate is simply its opposite. So what is the angle made by it? Easy to know. This angle is what? This angle,
Is same as theta 1.
90 degree.
Oh, 90 degree.
90 degree,
90
no.
degree, ma'am.
90 degree.
The
Yes.
angle made by the vector. Okay, again I am trying to tell you. So these are the poles. I want to find out the angle at this particular point. So what I will do is, I will draw a vector joining this. Okay, this is my pole number 1. What is the angle made by it? Let that be theta 1. Then again one more line I will draw. What is the angle made by it? Tell me now. Theta 2 is equal to
90 degree.
90 degree. Now I don't know what is theta 1. So I will be finding it out by writing one formula. Because this is to this side. Okay. So 180 minus tan inverse of, what is its vertical distance? This is J3, no? This is minus J3. Isn't it? So what is your vertical distance?
2J3.
This vertical distance.
2 into.
This distance is,
2J3.
vertical distance is 2 into, how 2 into 1 dal will come? This vertical distance,
J6.
3. 3 no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
1,
yes, ma'am.
2, 3. So this distance is 3 only, no?
Vertical from center.
Vertical distance from the, this is the pole. So what is the vertical distance?
3, ma'am.
3.
3.
3.
What is the horizontal distance? This distance.
2.
This is minus 2. So what is the
2, ma'am.
horizontal distance?
1.
2. Okay. So that is given by, so that is giving you theta 1. Understood now? Again I am trying to tell you. All these things you have to do it in your graph sheet. This entire problem will carry 16 marks. In the next unit also graphical problem only you will solve. So in case if you are having any doubts, you ask me now itself. I am not having time to pinpoint everybody and try to know whether you understood or not. So it's on your part to ask me a question if you are not able to understand. Don't simply plug in and go off somewhere. And close your eyes and sit. Okay, so I need to find out the angle here. So just to draw a vector. Now I am trying to find out this angle. So this is to this side. So the formula is 180 minus tan inverse. This is J3 point. This is your minus 2. This is your J3 again. So the vertical distance is 3. The horizontal distance is 2. Okay, like this. If it is to this point, means just tan inverse of, you will write. Okay, that is the procedure. Or otherwise, if you are having a compass, you measure the angle. That's all. Simple way. This is an easy method. If you are having a compass, using the compass, you can measure this angle. Which one is easy for you?
Compass.
Yes. Whichever way. If you are having a compass, just between this, you measure the angle, you substitute. You understood or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Or otherwise,
Ma'am,
what
what-
formula will you use? Tell.
180 minus tan inverse. That.
Yes.
Ma'am, my doubt
Somebody was telling.
is me only. Ma'am, in the negative x-axis, you said that red x part, if you want to find angle on that part, so what you have to do? 180 minus tan inverse and 2 only. And tan inverse of 2.
Suppose if you are measuring vector angle to this side, then the formula will be 180 minus tan inverse of x by y. Suppose if you are having here, then simply tan inverse x by y. Okay, that's the case. Alright. A
Yes,
simple
ma'am.
way is if you are having a compass anyway, you will have a compass. So simply you measure the angle and write it down. That is an easy method. Anyway, this problem requires compass. Okay. And
Yes.
x is the vertical distance, this distance, and this distance is your horizontal. That you will substitute x and y. Okay. So if you have
But
solved,
ma'am, tan inverse x by y will come if theta is between minus negative
huh?
real
You
axis
cannot.
and
One more problem I will solve with poles onto the other side. That time you will understand. Pushottam. Okay?
okay.
Alright? Suppose if this problem does not have any pole like this, suppose if it is having any problem means directly we will write it as tan inverse. Because it is to the other quadrant you are doing that 180 minus tan inverse, I think so. I think all these things you are not known to you in trigonometry classes. Based upon that only you are calculating all these angles. Okay, so now we are going to calculate that angle. If you are having a compass, you measure, or otherwise use the formula and tell me what is your angle of departure. Again,
And minus 33.69.
this is theta 1, that is given by 180 minus tan inverse of, the vertical distance is 3, the horizontal distance is 2. What is the theta 1 value? What is theta 1 value? You have to tell me. You are having calculator now, everybody.
123.7.
Ma'am, 123.69 degree.
123.3 you are having, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
123.7.
Yes, that is correct only, I think so. Find angle of departure. This will be 123.7. Okay. Now again another vector I will draw from its
33.
complex conjugate, that is 90, that is theta 2. So what is the angle of departure that I have given? Formula for angle of departure. What is the formula that I have given?
180 minus.
This is at A.
180 minus theta 1 plus theta 2.
180 minus theta 1 plus theta 2. So you substitute 180 minus 90. Then what is the other angle? Plus 123.7. So what is your angle of departure?
Minus 33.7 degree.
Yes, minus 33.7. This is your angle of departure at A point. Okay. Now we need to measure the angle of departure at its conjugate. Okay, this is its conjugate, this is A. That you already know. That angle of departure is 33.7 minus. What about its conjugate? No need to calculate now. It's just its conjugate on its opposite side, exact opposite. So this is 33.7. Understood why I am doing it 33.7? Because it is the exact opposite, okay, complex conjugate. So if this is the case means you reverse the sign. If it is negative here, you give it positive. If it is positive here, you use negative. Okay, that's all. Alright. Now what do you need to do is, again you have to measure the angle minus 33.7 here. And you know the asymptotic lines are running here, no? So make this angle using compass and you make a parallel branch marking. This is branch number 2. Okay. Same fashion, branch number 3, it is starting from this pole. Here what angle will you take? 33.7. It will also run parallel to this asymptote. So this is branch number 2. Okay. But somewhere this imaginary axis it will cross. Okay. This is crossing here at this point. It is also crossing here at this point. So you need to know what is that crossing point that you are having.
Ma'am, what you did here, can you do again? I could not understand.
Okay. You know how to mark the angle of departure, no? This is one
Yes.
pole at 0. This is A. This is your A conjugate. Okay. We have calculated the angle of departure. So what is the angle of departure? Here it is minus 33.7. Here it is 33.7. Okay. One of the branch you already found out, that is starting from this pole and it is ending towards the infinite 0. This is branch number 1. 2 more branches are there. One will originate here and the other branch will originate at A conjugate. And we have drawn the asymptote also. Okay, it will start over here and it will travel parallel to this asymptote and it will cross at the imaginary point somewhere. But you don't know what is this angle. That angle is what angle? What angle is that?
Minus 33.7.
What is the name for that? Minus
Angle of departure.
33.7 is called as angle of departure. Why it is called as
Angle.
angle of departure?
Angle of departure.
Because it is starting point. So it is departing. It is not entering. It
Complex
is leaving. So this angle is what? 33.7 minus. Okay. Now another branch is starting over here. It will also run parallel to this asymptote. But what is the angle here? It's quite opposite. If it is minus 33 here, you have to make an angle 33.7 here. Understood now? These angles are called as angle of departure. Okay. Suppose on the other hand, if you are having in some other problem, if you are having a 0 point, then what will happen? That will be angle of arrival or angle of departure.
Angle of
Arrival.
arrival.
Angle of arrival.
Somewhere it is coming and it is arriving. So in that case, it is angle of arrival. Okay, 0 means angle of arrival. Cross mark means angle of departure. Okay, departure. Alright. General formula I will tell you. Make a note of that formula. How to find out the angle of departure I will tell you. General formula is there. So what is the general formula for finding out angle of departure at A? 180 minus 180 minus, read the formula, 180 minus
Sum
of
of
angles of vectors drawn from open loop poles to A plus sum of angles of vectors from open loop zeros to A. But for this problem you are not having zeros. So the third term will become nullified. Only the first two terms we have used up for this problem. Understood? Now why I have considered theta 1 plus theta 2? What are theta 1 and theta 2? What are theta 1 and theta 2? 3 or 4 times I have drawn the vectors joining that A pole. Yes or no?
yes,
Ma'am,
sir.
what is drawn from? What is drawn from?
Drawn from open loop poles to point A. Open loop poles. Open loop zeros. Again I am writing the formula. Angle of departure. If you are considering complex pole A, then the formula is 180 minus sum of vector angle drawn from open loop poles or open loop zeros. Open loop poles
Poles.
to A points. Okay, plus sum of, now same way how to write, but vector angles drawn from now instead of poles you have to write open loop zeros to A. Okay, this formula will also be applicable to angle of arrival also. Okay, same formula will use. Understood? Have you written down?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That is why I am
Yes,
drawing
ma'am.
vectors.
Yes,
Again I am
ma'am.
telling you. Okay, I will reach the end. Again I am drawing that line. This one is the thing that I have did. No, are there zeros in this problem? There are no zeros. So third term is equivalent to 0. So that's why the formula is 180 minus theta 1, theta 2. What are theta 1 and theta 2? What are theta 1 and theta 2? They are angles of vectors drawn from
From the open
the
loop.
other open loop. This is pole number 1, pole number 2. So from that you have to draw lines to point A. So mark the angle, sum it up, that will be a second term. Suppose if you are having 0 somewhere, okay, like I am showing now, again you draw a vector, mark that angle, let that be theta 3. In that case what will be the formula? 180 minus theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3, like that. But you are having no zeros in this problem. That is why that term is eliminated. Understood now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Okay. Now, again you have understood that angle of departure, why I am drawing. You have got the angle. These are the poles. A conjugate. So, one root locus branch is in real axis. It is branch number 1. The other branch is starting over here. Before that, I should draw the asymptotic line. Parallel to that only it will travel. So, it will. This is make an angle of 33.7 negative. Okay. This is branch number what? Branch number 2. Alright. So branch number 3 will be starting here, A conjugate. Okay. Let me draw it with a different color. Again here also I have to mark an angle now. It is an opposite angle. So make an angle of 33.7 and make it parallel to this asymptote. You can see parallel running you have to make. So this is branch number 3. So totally 3 branches you have drawn. But the thing is, it is crossing somewhere here in the imaginary axis, no? Yes or no? It is making a crossing point in the imaginary axis. This is your imaginary axis. This one. So in here it is making crossing. But you don't know where it crosses. That crossing point you need to calculate and then only how to intersect. Understanding? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so that intersection point, how to find out, I will tell you. Wait. That is one step. Okay, crossing point and imaginary axis plus K range for finding whether the system is stable. 2 things you need to find. For that step, procedural step I am telling you. Take down the step. This is how to find the crossing point and imaginary axis. And how to find K open loop gain for system stability. So this is your characteristic equation, isn't it? Yes or no? How did you find out the characteristic equation? You have been given with one g of s, no? What is the g of s value? What is g of s value? You want to answer, otherwise I will get bored. What is your g of s that is given in the problem? This is the problem
K
statement.
upon S
K
into
divided
S
by
square
s into
plus
s
4S
square
K
plus.
divided by S into H square plus 4S plus 13.
Okay, so I want to find out closed loop transfer function. So what's the formula? This is negative feedback system. So g of s divided by 1 plus g of s. Just to substitute that, then what will be happening? K divided by s into s square plus 4s plus 13 divided by 1 plus K divided by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. Then what will be, if you solve that, you will be getting C of s divided by R of s. What is the answer that you are having for this case? S into s square plus 4s plus 13 plus K. That is your characteristic equation, isn't it? This is in the denominator polynomial. That will be your characteristic equation. Just to expand that characteristic equation, if you expand means what will you have? S cube plus 4s squared plus 13s plus K. This is your characteristic equation. In this you will need to substitute s is equal to j omega. Okay. So if you substitute that, what will happen? Everywhere you are having s, you need to substitute j omega. So if you do that, what will happen? J omega
J
cubed plus 4j omega plus 13j omega plus k. Everywhere you substitute that, then what will be the answer that you will be getting? This will become minus omega cubed j, then plus 4j omega, 4 omega squared plus 13j omega plus k. So what is the real part and what is the imaginary part? I am writing it clearly. Tell me what will be? Minus j omega cubed, I think so. Then minus 4 omega squared. Tell you the answer. I have asked you just to substitute s is equal to j omega.
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
simplify it, what will be the answer that you will be getting? Don't simply keep mum. I don't like it. Come on, 13 plus 13 j omega. You have to tell me the answer. I always
Yes,
telling you
ma'am.
take notes. Plus k.
13
In this,
J
what is
omega
the real part? What is the real part and what is the imaginary part? What is
While omega
Minus
the real?
k.
4 omega square plus
First,
k.
you tell me what is the imaginary part. This is having J, so this is
Ma'am,
what, ma'am?
that one is
Plus
that
13
one
J.
is 4j omega, na?
Which one?
That 4 omega square is not there.
That is
4j
S
omega.
squared term, no? S squared term means minus
Oh,
J squared you will get. Okay,
yes, but then real
understood?
part is 4 omega square and k.
This is my imaginary part. This is also having J. So what is imaginary part? Imaginary part is minus J omega cubed plus 13 J omega. You equate it to 0. Okay. Then what will be your omega? You calculate it and tell me. What is your omega? See, this is involving 7 or 6 steps as I told you. Finally, how to do all these things in your graph sheet. That will give you 16 marks. Each and every step carries some 2 marks. So if you are not able to understand each and every step, then you lose so many marks. So what is your omega if you simplify this equation?
0 and plus minus root 13.
What 0 minus j plus 13 you are telling me? Minus
Ma'am,
j omega cubed. Minus j omega cubed is equal to minus 13 j omega. So j will get cancelled. One omega will get cancelled. Minus is getting cancelled. So what is your omega squared?
Omega
13
square
square.
is
13.
Omega square
13. So what is your omega? Square root of 13, that is equal to? Huh? Root 13 I know. What is root 13 is my question. I think that is equal to 3.6.
3.6.
3.6 radians per second. Okay. So this is what is called as my crossing point. This is how you will be finding crossing point and imaginary axis. There only how to intersect the remaining 2 branches. Okay, this is what is called as what point? So as you yourself
Crossing
can
point.
see, this is taking long time to solve this problem. So I might not have time to solve many problems on this concept. So these 2 problems that I am solving, you listen to me attentively. In case if you are having any doubts, you ask me rather than keeping silent. So what is this point called as?
crossing point.
Crossing point
Crossing
in
point.
imaginary axis. So I will tell you. So this is, again, this is my first pole where the first branch is starting. That is terminating at an infinite 0. This is branch number 1. The next branch is over here at 8. And what is the angle of departure that it is having? Angle of departure is minus 33.7. And it should cross the imaginary axis at what point? Just now you have derived omega value.
3
Yes. I'll
6.
do it in, yes.
Point.
This is the crossing point, no? This crossing point should be equal to 3.6 or 3.6?
3.6, ma'am.
3.6.
So this should be J 3.6. Understood? Here only how to cross it. This is branch 2. What about the other branches? It will start from A conjugate. Okay, here you are having minus J3. Yeah. So after this only you will have 3.6 crossing points. So you have to take again the angle of departure. Now 33.7. Then you should make it cross 3.6 only. So this is how you have to find what point on imaginary axis.
Crossing
Crossing
point.
This is
point.
called as what? This is crossing point on imaginary axis.
Imaginary axis.
Okay. Next you need to find out the range of stability. So the same equation you consider. What is the real part here? Imaginary part you have to equate it to 0 to find out omega. So if you want to find out k, there is a real part. What are the real parts here?
Minus 4 omega square and k.
Yes, minus 4 omega squared and k. That you equated to 0. So k
Yes,
minus 4 omega squared equal to 0. So k will be equivalent to 4 omega squared. You have found out what is omega. That is 3.6. 13. So what is your k? You calculate and tell me what is the range of stability
52.
that you have to keep if you want to
52.
52. So this is the range that is allowed till the system is stable. Beyond that, if you vary means that the system will go unstable. So this is the point, stability limit. Okay, stable limitation. This is a stability limit. Alright, this is how you will be finding out K for the system to be stable. Okay. So this finishes of the problem actually. One more thing you have to discuss. Because this problem does not have this, I have not taught you, but still in some other problems you may have one more step in which you need to find out break-in point and break-out point. Make a note of this also. Break-in point and break-out point you need to find. How to find that I am telling you. Break-in point means here if you are having a pole, you assume. Here also you are having a pole. Then these two are starting points or ending points?
Starting point.
Starters or enders? Starting points. So the branches number 1 will travel here. I will do it in different color because it's not. Okay, one branch is starting over here and it will depart. Okay, or break away or break in. Break away or break in.
Away.
Yes, in this case you will have a breakaway point. Okay, the other branch, it will start over here and then somewhere it should break away or break in.
Break away.
Break away. So when will you have breakaway point?
That
Under
poles.
what condition will you have breakaway point?
Poles.
When you are having two poles on the real axis, then there is a chance that you are having a breakaway point or break-in point.
Away point. Break away.
Again I am telling you, okay, suppose if you are having two poles, both are starters only, starting points. So if you are drawing a branch, here it will start and it will break away. Okay, other branch will start here and it will break away. Okay, so breakaway points you have to find only in what case? Only when you are having
Starters.
Start. Poles.
starters, that is
Starting
poles
Starting
between two poles. Suppose, other hand, if you are having zeros, okay, a zero here, then these are ending points or starters?
Ending points.
Ending points. So
Ending.
branch will terminate here. So one branch is coming over here, it will terminate. So this is entry point or away
Entry,
point? Entry.
Entry.
So you will have this will be called as break in or break out.
Break
You
in.
tell me break in or break in.
Break in.
Okay, same way. Another zero is also there. Just different color. Somewhere another pole is coming. Okay, so this point is called a break in or break out. This point is also called a break in. Okay, so this is branch number 1, this is branch number 2. But for this problem, are you having this possibility? Break in
No,
and break
ma'am.
out?
No.
No, that is why you are not going to discuss, but still you need to know how to find out the breaking point. With that, I will start the graph in case you am having time. Wait, that step also I will finish.
We are having class, ma'am.
Ma'am, Sridhar sir is calling in WhatsApp to join class.
We
Okay,
have
that
lab
you go
now.
off. I don't know how many people understood, but the same thing how to
Ma'am.
repeat in graph sheet.
Ma'am, one doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, when we are drawing that in graph sheet at 3.6, ma'am, at 3.6, then that line is not getting parallel to that asymptote line, ma'am.
What asymptote line?
Ma'am,
Slightly parallel only, it's not exactly. By scale you make parallel, it will be parallel only.
Ma'am, it
Just
should.
parallel to that you need to draw.
Ma'am, it should.
Asymptote is roughly drawn lines, no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But ma'am,
Then?
I'll send you a photo, ma'am. You see. Of the graph.
All are proceeded with the problem, huh? See, next class, I will point out somebody to show me the graph. Okay, you should show me the graph, but you remember all the points. I don't know how many of you understood, and I don't know how to teach it again because the time is very short to finish this problem. You people are not there before me personally. How many people understood and how many people proceeded with the graph, I am not knowing.
Not
How many people can
understood.
leave? I think she is there. Not understood. What's
Not
up?
Yes, ma'am. Not understood.
Then you are asking doubts and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you remember the values. Next class I will do graphical representation. I think next class I am having 2 hour classes. I will solve one more problem fully. Okay, that time maybe you will understand it better. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And now you people leave. Otherwise, sir will scold me.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You people can
Thank
leave,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.